from Timp Food Studio here. In the morning I love a nice piece of toast, but I don't like that bought bread, so I always make my own. So I thought I'd show you my recipe of a yeasted seeded bread. Okay, so I've got my bowl here and my weighing scales. You just need 4 ingredients: strong flour, salt, yeast and water. Okay, so I do a mixture, so I always use strong white because this has got more protein in and it helps with the structure of a yeasted bread. And I also use a mixture of strong wholemeal as well. Okay, so I'm just going to weigh up 500 grams of flour. So I tend to use strong white as about 200 grams, and then I make it up to 500 grams with the wholemeal. And that will produce a 2-pound loaf. Okay, that's 500 or thereabouts. Next, I'm going to add some salt. Okay, so really easy recipe: 500 grams of strong flour, teaspoon of salt, 2 of yeast, and 300 of warm tap water. So that's my basic yeasted dough recipe. You can do enriched loaves where you put fat in, and you can do enriched ones where you have eggs and milk, but that's another recipe. This is just my standard bread recipe. Teaspoon of salt going in. I'm just going to cover it over, and then I'm going to use the green yeast. So this is the instant one, so you don't have to mix it with the water. If you have the yellow one, just dissolve it in the water first. So I've pushed the salt to one side because salt doesn't like yeast. It kind of inhibits its growth. I'm going to put the yeast in here, 2 teaspoons, and cover that over there. So here I've got some hot boiling water and some cold water, and I'm just going to measure out 300 ml of warm water. So a little bit of boiling water and a little bit of cold, and then just test it with your finger. If it's too hot, it will kill the yeast. Okay, so make a well in the middle. I'm mixing this by hand, which is the harder way, or you can use a stand mixer, not one of those hand mixers, a stand mixer, and use a dough hook, but I'll show you how to do it really easy, just with a bowl, and then you just throw everything in like that. Okay, so I'm going to add, because I love seeds, I like it being really nutritious, so I'm going to add some linseeds, just a shake of those. I'm going to add some pumpkin seeds and some sunflower seeds, so whatever seeds you've got really, or which ones you like. Okay, so I'm going to mix that around, gather all that liquid into the flour. So you always add the 300 ml to a 500 gram yeasted dough mix, and then you can add a little bit more, but you can't take away. So you get it to that stage, which I call the flock stage. And then you can add just a little bit more, just to gather up those dry bits right at the bottom. So I'm just going to feel it. It's not dry. Just a teeny bit more, just to soften the dough. So I'm going to get it onto the table. If you've still got some dry bits at the end, again, just a little bit of water or oil. Okay, so there's my dough, just in its mixed stage. So now we need to, you can use a little bit of oil if you like, if it starts sticking, but try not to use flour, because that will unbalance the recipe that you've just weighed out. Okay, so just get a little bit of oil. And just pop it on your workbench. And then what we're doing is stretching the dough, bringing it back. Stretching, bring it back. Stretch it, bring it back. You can speed up. What we're trying to do is stretch the gluten. This is wheat flour. Stretch the gluten to make it work. And they say it's supposed to be smooth and silky, or thereabouts. So keep stretching, and do this as long as you can if you're doing it by hand. Ideally, they say about 5 to 10 minutes, and that will develop your gluten and make it nice tasting bread. You can see it's still a little bit what I call bobbly, so it's not smooth, and it should be smooth before you leave it to rest or prove for the first time. Keep stretching it, turning it round. Work up those muscles, and after a while it will change and become a lot smoother. Say I've done that for about 5 minutes now, and then ball it up, and as you can see it's looking a lot smoother. Okay, so you get your bowl and you put a little bit of oil in there so it doesn't stick to the bottom. And then put some cling film over and put it in a warm place for its first proof. It's a nice sunny day now, so I'm going to leave it in the window until it's doubled in size, they say, or roughly for this amount, maybe about an hour and a quarter, depending how warm your room is. And I'll see you later. Hi, welcome back. So my bread dough has been proving for the first time, and it's doubled in size, so that's taken about an hour and a half. It's quite cold in here. So, and there's my bread dough. So remove it from the bowl and then just gently knock it back, just to get all that lovely air that's been proving. And it's full of carbon dioxide now. So what I've done is just flatten it out, and now I'm just rolling it up to make like a sausage shape. Make sure that you seal it well. I've got my 2-pound loaf tin, which I'm going to oil. Make sure you oil the sides so it doesn't stick. And then gently place your dough in there. I'm just going to put a little bit of oil on the top as well. That stops it from sticking to the cling film. And then pop your cling film back on and leave it to prove for the second time. Okay, this won't be as long, and depending on the heat of your room, maybe we'll look at it in about half an hour. Okay, see you. Hi everybody, so we're back after our second prove. So what I'm going to do is carefully remove the cling film. It's a good job I put that oil on top so it didn't stick. And then if you just press your finger and the dough slowly comes back, it's ready to bake. Okay, so I'm just preheating my oven to 220. I'm going to bake it for 25 minutes at that temperature, and then just reduce the heat slightly to 200 and bake it for a further 10 minutes. So that's a total of 35 minutes. And I'll show you the bread baked in a while. See you later. Hi, welcome back. So 35 minutes later, and we've taken the bread out of the oven. You can smell it, it's gorgeous. So it's all ready for a slice of toast in the morning. So thanks for watching, and join me again soon for some more tasty recipes from Timp Food Studio.